Mid-March 2007, Roby, Missouri. A woman shot dead inside of a shared mobile home with her common-law husband, Neldon Neal, who vanishes. I am Kayla, narrator of The Lost, and this is the Lost Echo Files. Hi, I'm Kayla Hale, and on today's episode, we're covering a murder and a manhunt that lasted 62 days and involved over 100 law enforcement officers. Judy Lewis was 51 years old. She had been living in Roby for less than a year. According to Texas County Sheriff's Report and the Houston Herald, Judy met Neldon Neal in June of 2006 in Miami, Oklahoma. By March 2007, they were living together in his trailer home on Santa Ana Road. Neighbors told investigators that the couple argued often. On the evening of Tuesday, March 13, 2007, that argument turned deadly. Court documents allege that Neldon Neal shot Judy Lewis in the chest with a handgun inside of that mobile home. He then walked out the door. He was wearing camouflage pants and carrying 2 handguns, and disappeared into 1.5 million acres of the Mark Twain National Forest. Judy Lewis was pronounced dead at the scene. She never made it out of March. But Neldon Neal's story in the manhunt was just beginning. By sunset on March 13th, Texas County Sheriff Carl Watson told the Houston Herald, quote, "We knew no doubt he was being helped." He set up a command post in the Roby fire station. He offered a $1,000 reward. And then the county locked down. Plato R5 and Success R6 school districts shut their doors. Parents kept their kids home. Neighbors loading their weapons. March 16th, the first sighting. Neal shows up at Evelyn Lansdowne's trailer in evening shade. Court records say he takes a shower. He grabs food, a backpack, a Bible, bottled water. He packed some clothing, and then he was gone. Evelyn Lansdowne, Mary Thomas, and Erica Moore drive Neal to a hollowed-out log just off Santa Ana Road. Court documents say Mary Thomas purchased a tent and sleeping bags from a Bass Pro Shop in Springfield, Missouri. They leave him with alcoholic beverages. But on March 18th, fear turned tragic. A 9-year-old boy died from a gunshot inflicted by his brother, who was handling a loaded weapon in the search area. The manhunt wasn't just for Neldon Neal anymore. It was for the safety of Texas County. By March 20th, the command post at Roby Fire Station was dismantled. 8 days, no Neldon Neal. Sheriff Watson told reporters, "We kind of had to play a waiting game." But that waiting game, police say, had a network. Between March 17th and March 29th, 2007, court documents allege that Neldon had a supply chain. Erica D. Moore, age 31, his daughter-in-law. She has children with Neal's son Nayland. Police say she drove Neldon to the woods on March 17th. Evelyn Lansdowne, age 32. Neal shows up at her trailer on March 16th. She later brought him supplies to the hollow log. Mary E. Thomas, age 37. She bought the tent and sleeping bag and met him at the log. Kathy J. McComas, age 52. She met Neal in the woods multiple times. She allegedly brought him soap, a pen and paper, and she brought him beer. On March 22nd, Moore and McComas take more supplies to Neal. On March 29th, the women bring Neal a copy of the Houston Herald. The women told police that was the last time they seen Neldon Neal. But Neal would later tell investigators a different story. He said he stayed in that hollow log for weeks. Neal stated that officers rode four-wheelers past him while he was in the log, coming so close at times that he could read their badges. Lansdowne, Thomas, and Moore were arrested on April 10th. Their bond was set at $25,000 each. Lansdowne and Moore would plead guilty to hindering prosecution. Kathy McComas pled guilty on January 8, 2008. Mary Thomas failed to appear to court, and a warrant was issued for her arrest in April of 2007. 4 women, 1 hollow log, and 62 days of freedom for a man accused of murdering Judy Lewis. April 9th, the first real break in the case. Roby firefighters respond to a blaze west of Evening Shade, Missouri. They find 3 juveniles who set fire to an outbuilding to stay warm. Their mothers, Mary Thomas and Evelyn Lansdowne, were nowhere to be found. Videotaped interviews with 7 juveniles revealed Neal's hiding place. But then Sheriff Watson believed Neal had moved. Watson now believed that Neal was under a rock overhang on a bluff overlooking the Gasconade River, 3/10 of a mile from where he'd be caught. 100 yards from water. No homes within 3 miles. The reward had jumped from $1,000 to $6,000 after the ATF got involved. May 11th, a tip comes in from Laclede County. May 12th, 11 a.m., officers move in. About 12 miles north of Lynchburg, 7 police officers hide in the brush. Neldon Neal, who had turned 61 during the manhunt, walks in front of them. He was carrying a handgun. Police tackle him, and no shots were fired. On the 62nd day, it was over. Sheriff Watson told Houston Herald, quote, "Had we not gotten him out of where he had been hiding, we probably would have never gotten him. He knew where he was safe. Aircraft wouldn't have been able to see him, and heat sensors probably wouldn't have worked. It was just plain old basic common sense police work." Neal's son Nathan was arrested nearby but not charged. Sheriff Watson stated that Nathan gave them information but didn't know where his father was. The longest manhunt in Texas County history was over. Neal spent 2 nights in the Texas County Jail before being sent to Fulton for a parole violation from a 1999 armed robbery. He was paroled by February of 2005. By February, he was back in prison. He was released again November 9th, 2006. He met Judy Lewis in June of 2006. 9 months later, she was dead. This is the echo room. When a case file closes, the person inside of it doesn't. Judy Lewis was 51 years old when she died on March 13, 2007. The Houston Herald wrote about the manhunt. They wrote about the hollow log. They wrote about the 4 women being charged, but they couldn't tell you who Judy was. Because Judy never got to tell her story, so I will. Court records say that Judy met Neldon Neal in June of 2006 in Miami, Oklahoma. She moved to Roby, Missouri to be with him. Police say 9 months later, Neal shot her. 9 months. That's how fast it can happen. If you are watching this and you are in a relationship where things are getting worse, where there are guns in the home, where you're scared but you think it's not that bad yet, I need you to hear Judy's echo. Don't wait. You can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline right now. It's free. You don't have to give your name, and they will help make a plan for you even if you're not ready to leave. It's not snitching, it's surviving. And if someone you know asks you to help them hide them from the police, if they ask you to lie, to bring them supplies, to keep their secret, Judy's case shows you what happens next. You can say no. You can call your local county sheriff. Telling the truth won't get you in trouble. Hiding a fugitive will. Judy Lewis didn't get a choice on March 13th, 2007, but you do today. Choose to be safe. Choose to speak up. This is the Echo Room, and Judy's echo says you're not alone. This is the last light for Judy Lewis. She was 51. She was born. She was loved. She lived in Roby, Missouri. But on March 13th, 2007, her light went out in a trailer on Santa Ana Road. While a man hid for 62 days, she never got another. Neal was charged with first-degree murder. He had a tent, sleeping bags. He had beer, a Bible, and a copy of the Houston Herald. Judy Lewis had a grave. Her light went out on March 13th, 2007. But we keep it lit for Judy. This file is closed, but the Lost Echo Files is just getting started. Because Judy Lewis isn't the only voice in these woods. I'm Kayla Hale. Good night.